March 12, 2007 may have been a normal day for many people, but for the family of Air Force Major Karl Hoerig, this was the start of a nightmare. After Hoerig didn't report to work, law enforcement go to his home in Newton Falls, Ohio, and discover his dead body. Authorities would conclude that Karl had been shot 3 times, his body found at the bottom of a stairwell and covered with a tarp. But there was something missing from the house, or rather, someone. Claudia Hoerig, Karl's wife, was nowhere to be found. Investigators would soon find out that their main suspect was not only no longer in Ohio, she wasn't even in the U.S. Instead, she had left for her native country of Brazil days earlier. Authorities learned that Claudia had purchased a gun days before the shooting, took out money from the bank, and made a quick getaway. But with Claudia now in Brazil, authorities and Hoerig's loved ones faced a major legal obstacle.
Brazil does not normally extradite to the U.S. for their own citizens. He was, in fact, born in Brazil.
This was a very difficult process from the beginning. They were not going to extradite Claudia Hoerig, and that's when we started talking with the local congressman. Tim Ryan did a really good job of creating publicity around this case. And then when I started the Facebook page, Justice for Karl Hoerig, I had an international audience, and many people from Brazil supported our efforts.
The fight by politicians, lawyers, and Karl's supporters to get Claudia back to the States would last over 10 years. The Brazilian government revokes Claudia's citizenship in 2013, and in 2018, she's officially extradited back to America.
So you're willing to talk about what you're sure of that? Because I have nothing to hide.
He went on a crazy lifestyle of doing all kinds of perverted stuff, men, women, everything. He forced me to play dead. He would only have an orgasm if I played dead.
He had boxes with things that he tortured me with. Ropes, the whip, and he made me walk around in the house on the high heels all the time. Doesn't matter how cold it was. And I got sick. After a few days, my body just couldn't take it anymore. 2006, I got pregnant again, and I can't do this. Same thing to me, same emotion, same emotion.
It would be totally uncharacteristic for those kinds of things. Those things, if valid, should have been brought up ahead of time.
I'm not going to have an abortion. There's nothing that's going to make me have an abortion. And he doesn't want to child. What am I going to do? Kill myself. That shows his character, all the things that he did to me, how he screamed at me, how he cursed at me, how he abused me. What I do, I went to the gun store. I asked for a gun that was small enough for my hands. I went to firing range. A lot. I had to do something very shocking for him to shake him up. So when he opened the door and see me with the gun, he saw me with the gun to my head. He would have no reaction. He would keep staring at me. He said, that's a very good idea. Go to the basement to do that because you're going to splash my paintings. You're going to splash blood all over my paintings. And I got very angry. If he hadn't said that, I would be dead, he would be alive. What happened next?
Well, what happened next is that I got very angry and I got up real fast and shocked.
First, she said she wanted to shoot herself, but didn't realize she didn't have any bullets left.
I pulled the trigger, nothing happened. I said, my bullets. What happened?
Then she calls her family, who convinces her to escape.
And they said that Ohio had death penalty and 13 of them. If I clean it up, they will know that I killed my husband.
I was paranoid. So I only got 1,000 in life, 300 in the bank account. I wouldn't have time to write. So I put a column over him in the letter, in case somebody came to the window, they would not see his body. So I would have time to take him later out of the country. Okay. I'm already dead inside.
One way the prosecution tried to show this was a murder was the actual gunshot wounds themselves.
You shot and killed Karl Hoerig by putting not one, not two, but 3 shots into his body, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you put the gun 12 to 24 inches from his head and pulled the trigger, correct?
Probably.
Probably? Well, did somebody else break into the house and shoot him too?
We, the jury in this case, duly impaneled and sworn or affirmed, find the defendant, Claudia C. Hoerig, guilty of aggravated murder as she stands charged in the first count of the indictment.
Judge Logan sentenced the then 54-year-old to life in prison, but with the possibility of parole after 28 years. As part of the extradition agreement between the United States and Brazil, Hoerig couldn't be sentenced to death, nor a term of imprisonment of over 30 years.